Hello everyone, welcome to the Great White North. I finished up doing some other episodes that I was pushing to get a starter the start on the new factory that I was planning on building here, and I ended up getting in a little conundrum in that I ran out of money. So, what I was thinking on doing is having a digging episode, um, and if this uh, makes it to an upload, I'm not sure whether it will or not, because I am planning on having it be a very long episode, with just me digging, so I don't know if it will be interesting to anyone, but I figured I'd just get moving on doing some digging now, and getting as much money as I can in order to work towards the new set of episodes. So first thing I'm thinking is I I can't really use this, so I'm gonna have to use uh this the temporary factory to get some cash. It's already built up, so it's all ready to go. Um, but I am going to need to first of all gather this stuff up and start this going. And then these guys out here, see what else we've got. And then what I want to do is I'm going to build this all the way over to the ores that I've got over here, and try and just flatten this out and start digging around here and open this up at this level. And then once I end up getting enough money gathered up, I think this is going to end up going away, and then I'll have once the new factory is built, I'll be able to dig in here deep underground and get all of this stuff. But for now, what I figured I'll do is just get enough to extend that out, start digging around there, get a little bit of cash going, so that I've got enough for the new factory after this. And then I can start on regular episodes with uh, just regular building and digging and that, because I'm gonna need to do a lot of digging of actual regular ore and not the dirt and everything uh, for that. No, that's the button I need. Dirt, diamond, ruby. Okay, so that's a fair amount. That should give me enough, at least as a base, to get it to there, and then I can start digging there. So let's get to it. The other thing is that I don't know how much talking I'm going to end up doing in this. I was thinking on doing streaming, but my network can't handle streaming at the moment. And I don't think the internet can handle it as either. So I'm just gonna do what I can for recording and see where we go from there. Grid build. Wow, that didn't get me far at all. And the other thing as well, since I've got the rock truck, I can take the rock truck over there. I might even be able to use the rock truck and the dozer and just dump it into the rock truck and the dozer. I just don't know how useful that's going to end up being. We'll get the rock truck out of the way for now. And I'll just use the loader to clear out the path, try and get some you know what? I'm gonna use the coal from this as well. Sell that. That should get me a decent amount of money. Kind of meh, but every little bit helps at this point. But oh, broken. Ah. Well, that would be an issue. Sell this. Oh, I already sold the stuff. Do I have enough? What is broken on this? That's good, that's good, that's good. Hydraulic hose. Nothing else is... I mean, that one's close to needing repair, but it's not bad. Vehicles... No. Equipment. Hoses. How much money do I have? Okay, well, I can get the most expensive one. And I will sell the old one. That should extend it out because condition starts out at 100%. Okay. Oh, start engine. There we go. Oops. Too fast. Oh, I'm not doing well today for driving. And as well, part of the reason why I'm doing this instead of something else is I just felt like digging, and yeah, I just felt like digging. That's it. And I figured it would probably be fun to record it as well, maybe. But since I can't stream at the moment, I figured recording this would be the next best solution. Let's go this way instead. And what I'm hoping is that a really long video can still be uploaded. The only long videos that I've done so far on YouTube have been ones where I've streamed to recording. So they've been long videos just because the stream itself is long. So this will be something new for me. I might end up having to split it up into several different videos to upload it. I'm not sure. I don't know what the limit is. The video I recorded a bunch of videos yesterday. It's probably going to be weeks before those come out, because I spaced them all out. I'm not sure on this one whether it'll end up being, whether I'll release it right away and have it be a foreshadowing video, or whether to just release it like I would normally end up doing. Alright. Not really at for this. Well, I'm gonna need to I don't think there's much in the way of money from that stuff, because that was just dirt. Oh, some of this is finally come through, so that should be fine. Could get me a little bit of money. As for whether it's enough to actually do anything, I don't know, but we'll figure that out. Fair amount, I guess. Gets me farther out there. Whoops, nope, that's not what I wanted. Let's move it. Right. I mean, either way, digging by hand and clearing this out is gonna be more painful than using this, and I can't sell stuff directly from the vehicle, so I have to process it anyway. So even if I'm only digging dirt right now, it consolidates it together in the factory and I can just dump it all at once. Although I suppose I wonder if I can do an extension on this. Temporary factory and then filter out the dirt and have all the dirt just automatically dump into a sell point. The only problem with that is that will require actually having money to do it, so that won't work. So, I'm gonna need some light. Maybe I'll dig some of this and see what happens. I mean, this is pay dirt and ore, so it should get me a lot more than just having dirt on its own. And if this can give me a better start on extending this over there. I mean, it might seem like a waste to spend money on building this little causeway, bridge, I don't know what to call it. But every block that you buy is basically permanently in the world until you sell it. So when I'm done with this and I don't need it anymore because the new factory is built, I can, every block that I buy can just be used for the new factory, or I can sell it and buy whatever blocks that I need for it. I mean, I'll lose some money in selling it back afterwards, but at the least I will get something for it. So it's not really a waste completely. Okay. This is a really tight corner. But I figured I'd try this kind of video out and just have a pure digging episode and see how it goes. I mean, the digging is the fun part of the game. And since I'm not really, well, I'm definitely not a professional YouTuber because I make zero money from it. I was all excited about, since I started doing the Out of Ore series, I've gone from 5 subscribers to 9 subscribers, so it's kind of nice to see people interested in Out of Ore. But again, I have no idea what stuff people would be interested in watching, and I mean, I'm having fun with the game, but that doesn't necessarily, just because it's fun for me to play, doesn't mean it's fun for people to watch. So trying to gauge that and try and balance between content that will be YouTube worthy and trying to continue to have some fun with the game. Because I mean, I could just be digging away on my own. I'm fine with that. So if watching me dig and chat about nothing is not interesting to people, or, you know, sometimes not chatting at all, then I'd end up just doing these kinds of videos as, or this this type of transition where I'm just collecting up some money in order to do the next things for buying a new vehicle or whatever. I'll just do those as in between off-camera sessions and then resume videos afterwards. But if people like it, then great. I'm hoping at some point in time I'll be able to fix up either get some better internet or get the network fixed in order my network or whatever it is that's causing the issue for me not to be able to stream. Well, I suppose it's technically I'm not unable to stream, however I get so many dropped frames that might as well not be even, like, there's a couple of times, well, the first time that I ended up trying it again, it was, it dropped so many frames that it actually disconnected me, because it thought that I was not connected anymore. And then when I reconnected, it was still staying, but it was still wasn't great. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's because when I was streaming before, I think the internet was still the same company and everything, but I was streaming at a rather odd hour, because it was the only times that I had to do this, but it was like 4 a.m. when nobody else was up in the house and using the internet, and probably nobody in the entire neighborhood was up at that time, which, great for streaming, but probably not great for an audience, because, well, even if I wanted to have this people within the same general time zone as me, I'd have to and have people paying attention to it at a reasonable time, I'd end up having to stream at a much later time during the day than 4 a.m. I mean, I was having fun with the streams. But I was pushing to try and get more people interested in it because I was trying to make a go of streaming. The only problem is that variety, I was trying to do it with variety rather than trying to figure out what audiences would like. As far as like time frame is concerned. So it ended up being a bit difficult. Now, if I might be able to resume the 4 a.m. streams if I get enough people interested in it, but I figured I'd concentrate on just the recordings for now and then go from there. And instead of a variety of games, I am just gonna stick with one game and then obsess over the one game. And as of right now, that is out of the way. If I get this to a decent completion, that I don't think there's anything more that I can do with this and have it continue to be interesting for everybody, I might end up switching to a different game. Like SE2 is out. I mean, it's not complete, but the survival's out. It's relatively usable, and we're releasing more content for it, so I might do that, but I don't think it's at a point where I would have fun playing it. I mean, I played it for a little bit when Survival was first out, and I tried out the story mode that they've got, which at the time it was basically not much more than a basic tutorial. And I think a lot of the things that they've said that they're going to end up doing to tweak it, I think is necessary for me to get interested in it again. There's a lot of YouTubers that I follow that do Space Engineers content that have been covering the story mode and are doing playthroughs on the story mode. So I think there's enough of those out there that I don't think I need to add one more of the same thing, because I mean, it's the exact same story that you're gonna end up seeing if you play it, and it's the exact same story for every person. Every playthrough that you will see a YouTuber do is gonna be exactly the same. So if you're following other people that are doing Space Engineers content, chances are you've already seen it, so having it, or trying to get people interested in my channel because of content that anybody that you can get from anybody else who are much more established as YouTubers is probably not the best business model. Like me coming out with a smartphone that does everything that Samsung or Apple does and expect anybody to actually want to buy it. I mean, even the Apple versus Samsung thing is kind of funny to watch because just constant back and forth of one company coming out with a great idea and then the other one's, oh hey, look, me too, and then they add one other thing and then the other one's like, oh yeah, hey, me too. I just find it humorous. I mean, at the first, when smartphones weren't really a thing, or at least they weren't as smart as they are now, or as common, the amount of innovation was significant. But nowadays, like the amount of incremental changes that they've done in smartphone technology is just meh. It's just not the same impact as it was when it first started, so I mean, which that's the same in any technology. I mean, probably the same with cars. When cars were first starting out, it was probably a big thing, and you know, the fancy new technology, like hydraulic brakes and power steering and now it's like really difficult to get people interested in a new car that 6 different manufacturers all have the exact same vehicle, just looking differently, and wondering why their sales aren't doing all that well. Not like there's any major innovations to vehicle technology nowadays. I mean, even AI driving is kind of, well, flawed, to say the least. It would be cool if they could get it to work, but the one thing about AI is, or any automated process, it's only as good as the person that programs it. You get a bunch of imperfect people that are programming this. Doesn't matter how many imperfect people you get, you're going to get an imperfect product. Doesn't matter if it's AI or anything else. Let's take a look at what we've got here. I don't know how much of this digging I need to get initial. Oh, that's a fair amount. Suppose I could get a couple more of these going, but just to make it faster, but yeah, that's pretty decent. Alright, let's see what we get from this. Rough concrete. Let's start with that. There's enough surplus now that I think I should be able to get all the way over there. I mean, the goal isn't to just build a bridge over there, it's to be able to clear all of this stuff out, so... Well, that's pretty good. This. Nope, that's... concrete. I think 4 more, maybe. That should be able to get me into that, and I think what I'll do is I'll do the rest with concrete floors. To expand it out. Maybe if this decides that it's going to actually connect. I'm going to just flatten this out as much as I can. I mean, that might be a viable solution to the one issue that I was concerned about with, when I do get the full factory going, what I want to be able to do is dig straight out from it. So get all the way underneath here. The issue with that is that I can tunnel all the way over to here, but that's all it would be is tunneling, so I would miss out on digging all of that, and I'm kind of well, I don't know whether I want to do tunneling or whether I want to do what's the word? like an open pit mine. I haven't really decided yet. I'm aiming towards open pit. Only because this is an older map. Which means that all of these deposits are straight down. They're just up and down. On the newer maps, they are more like deposits. In that you need to dig around for it and find where the deposits are, dig out the deposits. You'll actually deplete the deposits, and then you need to go look for another one. Which I might do one of the newer maps later when I reach a point where I don't think I'm getting any more enjoyment out of this map. Or people that are watching are not enjoying it. But that'll be down the road. Because I think, well, there's not a lot of maps out there with that. And I haven't really... Most of them are pretty specialized. Like there's a new one, a new map, I think it's called Coal Country, which seems interesting, but it's more tailored towards the new baggers, which is show you here, vehicles, bucket wheels. These. So they're designed to carve out cliff sides. Which is, and like these guys, these are giant ones. Now, obviously, it's going to be a ways before I can afford that, so, like, I would probably have dug out a huge open pit mine here before I could actually afford that kind of thing. So, I don't know whether I'd end up continuing much farther with a bagger, because I mean, at that point in time, it's like, you're just raking in money. Whereas the Coal Country map is just, it's, well, there's a another YouTuber, I can't remember his name, that I follow that has just started that map, and he said, he was saying that from what he can tell, it's basically just coal. So it's just, and the way that it looks, that it's been carved out with those machines, and since it came out about the same time as that map came out about the same time as they released the baggers, and the mass excavators, so pretty sure it's designed to have some fun with that. Specifically designed to be able to just start up and start. Whoop, no, that's not what. Pay attention to what you're doing, not just speaking. What was I saying? Yeah, it's designed to just buy a bagger and a mass excavator and just chew through it and collect up as much coal as you can possibly get. And it's just coal. So, I mean, stuff like that might be fun on its own, but I kind of like the idea of having the different ores, searching for the different ores, and So if I find a good map for that, I might end up trying that next and have, because I think it would be fun to have an exploration style play where you're not just opening, or you're not just digging an open pit mine and just digging straight down, but you're actually being strategic about it. Being able to use the ore prospectors and the ore resting devices, finding a deposit and then digging out that deposit, and then when you deplete it you have to go and look for another one. I think it would be fun to do that. I had fun with that at the start of this series because I had never played it, and I didn't know where any of the ores were. A lot of the other maps, like I think it's Forest Hills and the Starter Quarry, I think it is. I don't remember. Those are pretty easy to see. Those are a lot of the older maps as well. In that all the deposits go straight down. And they go straight up, which means that if you end up finding an ore patch on the surface, and they're pretty easy to see because you can actually see discoloration on the even if it's covered in grass, you can see a discoloration, and you don't have to dig very far to find it. So once you end up looking around, you can find ore patches pretty easily, and then you just keep digging down. So open pit mine and just keep digging until you make so much money that you don't know what to do with it. Which those are great, especially when you're starting out and you want to get some cash going. But I think a more exploratory game would be fun as well, so I'll have to try and go through the maps and see if there's one that will end up being similar to that, and see if that's going to be fun to play. I mean, there's fun with open pit mining as well, so I mean, even that is not necessarily boring, but I think I mean, that's what I find fun in Space Engineers is going around and finding different ore patches and digging. That's why I'm really excited about SE2, because they took a different, well, similar to how Out of Ore has different ore distributions based on the maps, so some of them just keep going straight down. SE1 has that similar style in that they don't go infinitely down, but they're relatively fixed in where you can find them, and it's very easy to see where they are. You don't necessarily need an ore detector to find it. You just need to go and find discoloration, and then if it's close enough to the surface, you can actually use your drill to find out where it is, what type of material it is, and then if it's farther down, all you need to do is just keep digging until your drill picks it up. So, I mean, there's no real challenge in exploring, and most of the deposits are huge. So, you only need to find one deposit of anything. Well, maybe iron. That's about the only one that you might end up having, or you might need to find more than one ore deposit, but chances are, like, that one ore deposit that you've found is going to be more than enough to cover everything that you need for your entire playthrough. So there's no real need to explore, at least for prospecting is concerned. So it's the other stuff in the game that you would explore for. Like now that other things like the food system is in place where there's certain things that you can only get on specific planets. I like that idea, is that you can survive on like minimal stuff, like the starter stuff, but if you want better stuff, you need to go to other planets and explore that. So like that's cool. And there's mods that modify change the way that ore distribution is. Those can add some interesting gameplay and exploration to it, and that you have to go if you want a specific ore, you have to go to this planet to do it. But even so, like once you find that first deposit, and especially if by the time you can actually go to other planets in Space Engineers 1, you likely have a either massive ship or a pretty decent one for drilling. So you just go to the other planet, load up on all the materials that you possibly need, and then you never have to go back there. That's the extent of it. Whereas with SE2 now, the deposits are smaller, which means that like my first playthrough on it, when it first got survival, to get enough iron to do some building on a base, and to get enough iron to build a little ship, or to expand the ship that I had, I had to go to more than one asteroid, because first asteroid I was at, which was like it's got a starter base on there, just a basic base that you can use to as a base of operations. It had some basic ore deposits there, but in no time flat they were gone. So you had to go to I had to go find another asteroid, and then I ended up completing that one, and I had to go find another asteroid, which to me is great, because you have to go exploring. So that was fun. But I'd like to try that. I'd like to see if I can do that sort of gameplay with this game, is seeing if there's an exploration concept to it, where I can actually go to, whereas it's not just find the nearest ore deposit and then you're set for life kind of thing. I don't know. I think it would be fun. It would definitely give a lot more complexity to it, so I don't know if it would lose enjoyment, but like if it's gonna be frustrated to go searching for ore deposits, it may not be as fun as I think it is, but I don't know. I think it would be enjoyable. But yeah, I'll have to test out the maps and see which ones. I mean, if you think, if you played Out of Ore and you have any suggestions on maps to try for something like that, where exploration is key, let me know in the comments, and then I'll have to try them out and see if I like them. And then if I can design a series around it that people will find enjoyable, I'll end up doing that. Now, at some point in time, this is gonna end up getting really annoying for having to use the loader for everything. So, I don't know if I want to start thinking of ways I can incorporate the rock truck in this. And have the rock truck go back and forth on this. So far, it's not that bad. Although maybe... Oops. There's one problem with camera angle. It's like... it messes with my brain on what's forward and backwards. So what if I get the rock truck in here, put some lights going on this. Because the other thing with the rock truck is that it will hold several scoops of the loader. So if I can get... oh, it's gonna end up blocking terrain. Okay, that should be it. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. This is gonna be tricky. I am going to switch to forward a little bit. Just because I don't trust my driving ability. Yeah, see, this will take several scoops of the loader. So the driving back and forth is going to be less. Because I don't have to. Oh. Here. How about lift the bucket? That's great. There we go. So that should, yeah, that should be less driving at the very least. I'm glad I got that with the rock truck with the last episode. Whoa, no, watch your driving. Ugh, I need railings or something. I think I've got some railings in inventory at the moment. I don't know how full that is. Oh, yep, it's full. And then all I need to do is go all the way back here. And you're stopped when you bump into things. Take a drink of coffee while I do it. And I don't even have to turn around. Well, I shouldn't have to put it on every block. I just need to put it on enough that it stops me from running off the edge, right? Pardon me. Yeah, I still have lots of money. Okay. We might get a few more of those. And then just get some blocks just in case I need them. That should give me enough to get moving on this. Then I'm gonna do the same thing here. And again, I shouldn't have to worry about spending this money because, number one, at a certain point, money is meaningless in this game because you actually make so much money that it just well, you've got nothing to spend it on. I mean, even if you get enough money, which takes a really long time in order to get the most expensive thing, which is the big the baggers, what are they, the mass excavators, yeah, like these guys. Or is it bucket wheel? I don't remember. Well, this is level 65. This is level 70, so I'm guessing these are the higher end, really expensive guys. But I think they're like 96 million or something like that. Something ridiculous. That's just... If this were real life and you had to spend that much money, that... can't even imagine that amount of money being spent. I have a hard enough time spending like 20 bucks in the grocery store, let alone close to $100 million on just one thing that is a specialty machine that may or may not get you money back by spending it. But I mean, once you even get to that, like, there's nothing really more to spend on it and or spend the money on. Granted that this game is still in development, so every major update that they do ends up having more and more things that you can do in the game, which is awesome. So there will be more and more things to spend money on eventually. It's just, you actually do reach a point where it's just, there's just no point to the money anymore. Doom voxel there. Alright. Got that one. This is going pretty good though. Should get a decent amount of cash from all of this stuff. And it'll clear things out so that I can get a good idea of the size of the deposit and what kind of things I need to be able to do to... Oh, no. Drive or top. I need to choose one. What was I saying? I don't remember. Yeah, it should get me enough of an idea to see what's going on over here to, because I was trying to do that with the, that's why all of that, like this over here, that's why this is all chewed up and there's like ramps and things. I was trying to get the dozer to clear off like the top part of it and have a nice ledge on it and a flat spot on top to kind of see what was going on, and I just well, I mean, part of it's I need a lot more practice with the dozer. And with the quirkiness of it, I can't wrap my head around all the quirkiness of it. That makes sense. I'm surprised I'm actually doing... I've had enough practice with the the excavator that I was able to have a decent job of clearing out that the start of that of the new factory. I mean, at least the excavator is you don't have dirt quirkiness to deal with. It's just wrapping your head around the number of controls, but once you end up getting you can at least see what's happening. Whereas I find with the dozer, there's so many things that are not, that you can't see why it's doing a particular thing. And because of that, I can't figure out how to compensate for it, if that makes sense. Because like the excavator, it's you move this control and it does this. You move this control, it does this. With the dozer, it's unless you have the blade exactly here, it may do this, or it may just decide that it's going to dump all of the material that you have on the blade underneath the vehicle, or behind the vehicle, or to the side of the vehicle, or to anywhere it decides to go. And if you don't have the angle right, and you end up going down face first, or frontwards forward first, down a incline, it might dig up everything that you've done and make a horrible mess. So you gotta watch on that, and then you gotta watch this, and then you gotta watch this, but you can't see what's actually going on, or what the underlying reason. I mean, I'm sure there's some underlying reasons for it. It's like the physics. Because this and this and this are like this, the physics engine is saying, I'm gonna do this. I mean, it's probably not as random as I think it is, but just the sheer number of things that I can't see what's happening to be able to figure out how to fix it. It just makes my brain hurt. So that's why I have, or partly why I struggle with that. And it's also why I'm looking forward to the update where they fix a lot of the issues with the way that the dozer is working, because it will make being working with my brain a lot easier. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I got the rock truck last episode. Because this is definitely a whole lot easier. I'm not sure if you, in case you missed it with the last episode that I ended up getting the rock truck in, the controls for lifting and lowering the bucket, or the I don't know what to call it. This thing are different from standard. I programmed them slightly different because the default on it uses the mouse, and I just find it clunky in that the sensitivity, like, I couldn't figure. I've tried to do it before and I just couldn't get the sensitivity on the mouse to make it seem reasonable to work with the bucket or whatever it's called. So I prefer to use W and S. Well, specifically Shift W and Shift S as the controls for that. Because you can hold them down and then it just, you can use it. Whereas with the mouse, the sensitivity is so low on that, and I couldn't figure out how to get the sensitivity up without, like, changing the sensitivity on my mouse and playing around with going back and forth between sensitivity of the mouse to actually have it work, because I would have to use the mouse like up and down and reposition on my mouse pad several times just to make it work, just to raise it up and dump, and then you have to do the exact opposite the same amount of times to bring it back down again in order to move. So it's just, I find it much more effective to use the Shift W and Shift S on it, because you just hold the keys down and it dumps, and then hold the keys down and it closes, and I'm done. Now, there might be better controls out there, or better combination of controls that might work better, but I just find that, because I'm already using W and S to move it forward and backwards, so it doesn't, I don't need to do any gymnastics with my fingers to be able to do it, because I just hold Shift and hit the same keys that my fingers are already on. So yeah, I just find it much nicer to work with than that. Cool thing is that this game, they did a great job of making it as customizable as you can possibly get it for your controls. Like way more than any other game would ever do. Like it's so complicated with, and it can't have been an easy thing to do to get it this customizable. So the devs did a great job of making it as customizable as it is, uh, to make it as user friendly for a specific user as possible. And especially since this is partially a sim game, so there's people that have full like they actually use heavy machinery in real life, so they know all the controls and everything for it, or they're a heavy machinery enthusiast, so they've done all the research, so they've got like driving wheels and joysticks going and all that sort of thing. Is really cool. They can customize all of that stuff and have it work and enjoy the game the way that that they want to play. So it's great that the devs ended up spending that time to be able to do that, because I mean a lot of games don't have that level of detail put into the game, just because all of this has a huge amount of complexity to program the game. Because just listening to a keyboard command or a mouse command or a combination, let alone just not even like combinations of keystrokes, is complicated. But having to have that be variable, and then you've got conflicts to deal with. So okay, well, I'm already using W and a S for this. If they reprogram it to W and a S for this thing, what's going to end up happening with the game? Those kinds of things. So having those kinds of things in is just, there's so much complexity to it. So the fact that they took the time to design all of that into this game it's definitely dedication, because it can't have been easy. And every time they end up making a new vehicle, they've got to consider all of that. So, because not only have they designed in customizable controls, but I mean, I don't know if you've been noticing on the left hand side there, that's all that's the I like keeping that up. It's all the keystrokes. I don't know what's the term for it, cheat sheet, I don't know. Tooltips. Ah, yes, tooltips. Or I think that's it. I don't remember. You know what I mean. Every vehicle that has a unique, or at least every vehicle type has a unique set of controls. So when I get into this, some of them are the same, like WASD for movement. That's typical. So, but like this, it's got a huge amount of controls, because every single pivot and every single axis is different. This thing, nothing. You just drive around with it. So I mean, it's not complex at all. Whereas like this one, there's nothing complex about it. I mean, well, so they don't even have the WASD listed on here because I mean it's so uncomplex. Is that the word? Incomplex? Lack of complexity that it doesn't even need WASD. I'm sure you can, it's like, I'm sure you can figure it out yourselves. But yeah, like, so every single vehicle, different type of vehicle has a different set of controls that have to be programmed in, and they've allowed complete customization for it. So it's just incredible the amount of work that they ended up doing to get that. And I mean, I've done a little bit of development work. I've dabbled in well, I've started dabbling in game design. I don't have any formal training or anything. It's all stuff that I've learned as I go. So just because I was interested in it. So I kind of understand to a degree just how complex this ends up being and how difficult it is to program in stuff like that, which is why a lot of game designers don't put in a lot of customizable features within controls or things like that, just because it just it makes it hard. And I mean, they don't want to have to spend, 6 weeks on just being able to have a user be able to decide that they don't want WASD, but they want to reverse all of that. When it's like unnecessary for them to necessarily design that. Well, I guess I can do another scope on this. Design that in. So I mean, it's really cool that they ended up doing that. What was I doing? I don't remember. Well, I think I'm gonna do one more scoop of this. That should fill it. I'll dump that and then see how much money that I've got that I end up getting for it. And see where I'm at as far as money is concerned. Reposition this here. And then we'll run over here and take a look at that. Alright, let's take a look here. What do we got? Alright. Tons of dirt. Tons of that stuff. More dirt flowing through. Some lithium. I mean, most of the digging that I've been doing has been in... Oh, wow, that's a fair amount. And more coming in. So that's going to take a while to process. I think... And that's another thing that's going to end up being really good for the new factory, because I'm going to have... Right now, this is a single conveyor and a single set of machines. Whereas with the new factory, I'm going to have 4 outputs, which means that I can design around 4 conveyor lines, which means that I can quadruple this and then have it dumped into the same thing, which means that I can go 4 times faster on the new factory than with this one, because I'm going to have 4... Because the limiting factor that I have on this is this single conveyor, because it can only... Yeah, so here, 30 meters per second. That's conveyor speed. That's it. So I can only run so much material through this. And it, yeah, see, conveyor, doesn't matter how fast this is, the conveyor will only do 30, whereas if I have 4 of them, well, that's no longer 30. That's 120, which means that if it splits it into 4 different, like one scoop split into 4, it's going to end up running 4 times the amount. I mean, theoretically, chances are the math is going to be different than that, but I mean, in general, that's what I'm going to be looking at. All right, let's get some money in here. Oh, that's nice. Not as much as other stuff, but I'll get a few more of these purchased, and I think I'm gonna get a few more of these, just because having these railings is fun. Plus, you know, OSHA compliance, which is usually not the highest priority in games. I mean, let's face it, OSHA compliance is, and it's like health and safety is not always the highest priority in real life either. Yeah. Person I used to work with always used to say safety third. I mean, he was joking, but I mean, just that's how most places seem to consider safety. We'll worry about having fire extinguishers when the building's on fire. The building will never be on, has never been on fire, so why would we put fire extinguishers in? Seems to be the mentality of some people. Don't seem to realize that you don't put safety measures in place because you have those, but because it could happen. Because you don't want it to be an issue when it does happen. Because it will. Well, actually, it may not. However, you'd rather have it than not have it when it does. So... Or I wonder if I should dig into the hill here. Do I care? I don't know. Can't decide. I'll do this. I'll decide later. The decision for future me. I may hate myself, my past me, for not making the decision, but hey. Should be fun. Okay, well, I think that's the limit of the deposit there. What? Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, there we go. Caught on the edge. Well, at least it did its job. Kept me from flipping over. Oh, speaking of flipping over. Move this forward a little bit. There we go. Alright. So let's get to digging again. And we'll just run over the truck. Yeah. I don't know if collision damage actually does anything. I know it's got the damages aspect of the where wear and tear will eventually break down parts, which I think is cool because it gives an added incentive to, like, it gives you another thing to use your money for. So you have to stay digging, because if your machine breaks down, you have to fix it. Am I stuck there? I hope I wasn't premature in trying to start digging over here. Trying to clear off this part of it so that I can come in to the other side, like, so this part here a lot easier. But as of right now, there's not a lot of maneuvering room, whereas on the other side there's lots of room to maneuver, but not enough to actually start digging away that. That makes sense. Probably doesn't. It doesn't really make sense to me. Because I'm concentrating on too many things. Well, I don't know if I've gained anything in all this digging that I've done, because I mean, we're at the hour and 45 minutes thereabouts, hour and 35 minutes, I think. And I don't know. I think all the money that I've spent so far has gone into just this digging platform, not actually like gained any money from it. Yeah, we've had fun digging, so I'm fine with that. Oh, nope. There we go. And worst case scenario is I can, if it is a major issue of money, I can reuse a lot of this stuff here that I put down here and then worry about digging a little more for money for this. As well, what I might do is, before the next set of episodes, is just do a series of purely digging episodes, which will be a lot longer. But will let me gather up enough materials and money to be able to power through setting up the new factory and finishing to get the garage in place. As of right now, I don't have enough to actually do anything more because it requires me actually digging, so getting some money because I need the materials for it. Would have been better if I had actually if I had started digging into these mountains. I probably would have been into rock by now, which would have let me build at least concrete. And theoretically, I can build steel myself. Since even this temporary factory has given me enough enough steel to be able to build it on my own. I just find it, we need some more machines is my thinking on things, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but right now you can automate a lot more, which is great. So all the smelting and everything is automated, so that's cool. You don't have to use manual smelters anymore, so that's nice. But you still have to manually do things afterwards. So if I want to make, let's say steel walls, I have to process a bunch of stuff, which is great. There's a lot of automation that I can do with this. Like this is not even close to the amount of things that we can still do on this. Like as far as factory is concerned, like this. So for production, there's this, which creates bars, which is what we're doing right now. But there's also these, which will give steel beams. Well, what can steel beams do? Well, they can make this stuff. But the thing is that you only make these. And then what you need to do is get a CNC cutter, which is a manual machine which makes stuff, and a CNC mill which makes stuff, but it's still manual. And then I think steel press, I don't remember. And again, so concrete blocks, in order to make concrete blocks, I need to make it in a concrete mixer manually. I have to process all the materials beforehand to get the gravel and everything that I need to be able to do that. And it requires gravel and water, which is fine. But you need to make a machine to get the water. And then you manually process it. So it's just... I don't know. I just would prefer to have the ability to automate more is my thinking. So making a whole temporary factory to make concrete would be really cool. To make concrete blocks so that you could make the concrete blocks that you need to build a permanent factory. I just think that would be cool. And maybe they're gonna design that in, I don't know, because I mean, even the automated processes of smelting and things like that, that's only relatively recently that it's been designed into the game. For the longest time, the only way that you could make a lot of this stuff, like, if you wanted smelted bars, you had to use a manual smelter, which you have to still use, like, the wash plants and everything. That was about the extent of the machinery that you ended up having. And I mean, at one point in time, even the wash plants didn't need water because there was no water. So now there is water, so wash plants still don't need water, but well, at least my understanding is they work better with water. But again, I've never tested it, so I mean, I don't know. I say again, but that's like repeating myself from episode 1. I mean, even oil. So that's another thing that I'm kind of is weird. So you can produce fuel in the game, but the only use of that fuel is to manually take it from a machine that automatically creates it and manually place it in a generator, which will burn it, which you have to pay attention to, because if it runs out, your automated machine stops working to produce the fuel that you need to manually take out of in order to put into the to manually put into the machine that will generate energy in order to automatically make the fuel that you have to manually take out and move it. And remember that it's going to end up running out. So, I mean, that can definitely be improved there. And as well, so the only way to fuel your trucks is to buy, well, I mean, yeah, ultimately the only way that you can fuel your vehicles is with this guy right here, this fuel station. That's the only way to do it. Even this thing, the only way to refuel this and to fill it up is to actually use, where am I? This thing right here. So you have to, this is the only way to fuel things. Which I kind of have an issue with that because, I mean, you've got oil in the game now, which you can turn into fuel. So why can't I take that fuel and put it in a vehicle? It would just be nice, is my thing. Now maybe they're gonna design it into it. I don't know. As much as I pay attention to what's going on with the development of the game, I don't always pay a ton of attention to what's going on in the games. It's just kind of passive to what it is, because in a lot of cases, I like to figure things out on my own. I find that enjoyable. So knowing all the secrets to a game kind of pulls the fun out of it for me. So discovering a new feature that they've added for me is as enjoyable as knowing that the feature exists or getting benefit from the feature existing, if that makes sense. I don't know if anybody has the same thinking or not, but I do find that interesting and fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird and nobody else thinks that way. But I think that would be really cool, is if you... Because making fuel right now is the biggest reason that you would end up doing it, is to cheat your way to millions. Because... Yep. You put a pump jack on coal, and you basically have unlimited money. Because you can just sell the oil, or you can process it into fuel, which will give you even more money. just by having it sit there and make you money. I mean, you still have to manually sell it, but I mean, still. Although I don't know if you can... What if you can use a sell point on it? And even like automate it, just dumping it into a sell point. I don't know, I've never tried it. I find it somewhat cheaty. Way too much of a cheat for me to be comfortable with that method. I mean, I've used it before, but I mean, I just... What's the point of a digging game if you don't dig your way to millions? Right? I don't know. You might as well be playing Oil Tycoon or something like that. I don't even know if that... Is that a game? Seems like a kind of game that would be available. I mean, there's so many different simulators out right now. I can't imagine that Oil Derrick's owner simulator wouldn't exist. Is that full? I don't know if that's full. Yep, it is full. I mean, on the plus side, even if I haven't dug enough material for lots of money for the new plant, I've been able to clear out a lot of material. Get some more of these guys in. Except that I think I'm gonna end that here. I might do another digging session, but I'm coming up on 2 hours right now. And I don't really feel like condensing it either, 'cause I mean, I'm learning how video editing works, so I mean, I might end up condensing it down and turning some of this stuff into whatever it is. But for now, I'm gonna leave it here. I might do some more digging before the next episode, to still try and get some more money gathered for the new factory and to get the garage finished. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. If you like the video, please like. If you don't, then feel free to dislike. It doesn't matter to me. But let me know in the comments as well if you like seeing content like this, I'll do a lot more videos like this in between the other style of videos. I can tailor the videos to whatever people want to see. As long as I still enjoy it, I will make whatever you like. So, feel free to comment and subscribe if you want to see more. All that great stuff. And see you next time. Bye bye.